Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the MarineLand 5-gallon portrait aquarium. So this tank has been up and running for a few months now, and from what I can tell, this is a really popular kit that a lot of people are looking into buying, mainly just because the setup video and everything else I do with this tank always gets like 1,000+ views, which is a lot for this channel. So I figured if you guys are so interested in this tank, might as well give you guys. So this tank was set up, I don't know the specific amount of months ago. I can put that up on the screen right now. But in that video we had, of course, we had Bacopa caroliniana, and in the update video I talked about how that melted away. But really what we're talking about here is that how this tank, if you bought it, how it would stand up over time. Like, would this be a good quality tank to buy and keep running, or would it just fall apart? You know what I mean? And I mean, obviously it has not fallen apart. And so from my experiences with this tank over the months that I've had it running, is that definitely this light right here, this is the Lomini Ask the 20 Planted Plus aquarium light, and I will put a link for that down below. It's like $40 off Amazon, and I bought this a while ago, and it's a really great light for this tank because it is dimmable and it's got the perfect pendant style so that you can adjust it and make it so that you can work on this tank while you're still getting the light. So you can like take the lid off, put your arm down there, but you don't have to move the light off. You can just swing it to the side, which is a very nice touch. And I really wish that MarineLand, when they were coming out with this aquarium, of course they were trying to keep it in a budget. So like this tank was what, $60 to buy brand new with the kit, which came with the light, which I guess would have worked if you were not using it for plants or anything like that. But definitely recommend this light to buy. You can buy it off Amazon. I'm sure you could buy it off Lomini's website, wherever that is, probably some Chinese website, but I definitely recommend Amazon. You can get it in 2 days, and it's a great light, comes with a bunch of other things, and works perfectly for this tank. So I have noticed that this lid is nice, but at the same time, everyone always says that it's kind of hard to live with, like sliding back and forth. Personally, I've never really found an issue. I just take off this back compartment that covers the filter area, and then I can slide it back if I want to feed the fish. I've got this open area right here. And then if I really want to take it off, I can just slide it back and then pick it up like this. So I've never really had an issue with it. A lot of people say that that's the main downfall of this tank, but I don't really see that as a problem actually. And another thing that I really like is the very thick glass that it comes with. This is like probably 1/8 of an inch thick. It's thick glass, so same thing goes with the lid. It's really nice. There's no flaws in it. The curved edges are done very expertly. And overall, this is a great tank that is not likely to crack in transit because as you guys probably know, if you've been watching this channel, I have ordered a few tanks off Amazon, and at least in one of them has arrived cracked. My Fluval Flex, it just had thin enough glass that even though it was a larger tank, had way thinner glass than this, and that was easier to crack in transit. But chances of this getting to you broken are very low, so I would not worry about that at all. And then when it comes to the filter, my main thing that I don't like about this filter is, well, I actually have two things, but the main thing is just an aesthetics thing. The intake grate that the water flows in through, it just looks like they made this like spiral swirl pattern that I think we were trying to, like, I don't know, like make it more interesting or appealing. But when you're using it in a planted tank setting, it just looks weird. I mean, you're obviously gonna want to cover that up with plants, but it just doesn't look good. Like, they have the overflow up here, which is just slots. Like, why can't they just done slots like for that intake? I'm not a fan of that. Also, another thing, the filter compartment is actually really nice because it does have an adjustable filter on here, so you can just take this off, and if you want to access the media, you just slide this tray up. I don't want to slide in and get all the mold in the water, but this is just a tray that you can slide up. There's a cartridge in there that you can use, and there's also some foam. Obviously, as a fish keeper, I would not recommend using the activated carbon with plants. I still do have it in, but that's mainly just because I'm trying to take the excess nutrients out of the water, because I have been having a little bit of cyano and other algae problems in here. And the activated carbon will take a lot of the nutrients out of the water, but it will take the nutrients out of the water for your plants too. So since I'm going through this algae right now, I just dim the light down, throw in some activated carbon, and clean it up every few weeks, and then it really goes away. You really don't notice it from a distance, but if you really look up close, you can see it. But it's not really something huge that bugs me. So if you guys were to use the stock light, like I was saying, you're probably gonna only be able to grow maybe some Java moss and Anubias. I don't even know if you can do Java fern, but you could do Anubias maybe. It was a really cheap light. They put all their money into the tank and they just needed to have a light on it to sell it. So they just threw on the cheapest one that they could possibly manufacture. But with this light, you could grow anything from cryptocorns that I have going in here. I've got these easy Limnophila stems, which is an easy stem plant. My plants in here, I've got the Italian Valsinaria, Cryptocorn spiralis, Cryptocorn Wendetti bronze, and Cryptocorn lutea. And I've got a bunch of trimmings of Rotala just down here that I just didn't want to throw away from one of my upstairs tanks, but I had no other place to put them, so I just threw them across the bottom, and they're actually growing well. And again, let me find the adjustable part. Oh yeah, here it is. So here's this dial on the light. You can turn it all the way up to that, and that is definitely a highlighting tank. I've actually never turned it up this high because I had it a little bit, but it would cause algae issues. But then, of course, you can dim it right back down to off, and this is the lowest setting. I'm gonna keep it right around there, but just to help fight the algae. But this isn't a review on this light, but I just figured if anyone's looking into this tank, you should buy this light in conjunction with it, just because of the way that they work, and it looks good on it, it works good on it. It's a great light, great tank. But if you are going to be aquascaping this tank, you gotta do a taller hardscape. My hardscape in this tank is really not the best because I had a more complicated wood piece in here, but it kind of just fell off because the glue wasn't holding as well. And so it's just kind of like an upright stick with some rocks as a barrier for substrate in the back. And it looks fine. It just definitely you're going to want to consider how tall you're going to be hardscaping this thing. And also another thing that I realized is that with this tank, you really got to think about your stocking. So when it comes to stocking this tank, because this is a vertical tank, this vertical 5 gallons is less than a long 5 gallons, so there's less swimming space. Most fish will use this space more than this space, so there's less opportunity for you to stock the tank without getting overcrowded. So I've got these Pastili tetras in here, these gold Pastili tetras, and I had 6 of them. I just am realizing now that I only have 5. I don't know what happened to the other one, but they are all doing totally fine here, and I wouldn't stock this thing with much more than this, maybe throw in a few shrimp and auto sinkless or 2. But other than that, I wouldn't really do anything else in here because I think these fish really use this tank to its full potential. Like they swim up, they swim down, they use the whole layout of the tank, and they also school well enough that it's complementing to the aquascape. So what are my final thoughts on this tank? My final thoughts are buy the tank for the tank and upgrade the light. This would be a really great tank to have more as like a display tank. You really wouldn't be good to do any breeding projects in this thing. This would be a great beta tank because of its height. And all in all, this is a great tank, but always look into upgrading that light and upgrading the filter media in there. Throw a sponge in there. If you're looking on more content about this tank, I have 2 other videos. Aquarium Co-op has a video. Those are pretty much the only videos on the internet right now about this tank. So I guess that might be why my videos about it are doing so well for this channel. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you guys think about this tank, and if you guys have any questions about it, I will be happy to answer them down in the comments below. See you guys next time. Thank you for watching.